During a fight, my girlfriend smashed my laptop, yelling, "Now you have to pay attention to me." I quietly picked up the pieces. The next day, I paid attention to her by filing a police report for destruction of property. Original post. I, 29 male, am sitting here staring at the pieces of what used to be my work laptop, trying to process what just happened. My girlfriend Melissa, 27, and I have been together for about 18 months, living together for the last 6. Things have been tense lately. See, I work in software development, and we've been crunching hard for a major product launch, talking 60 to 70-hour weeks. Not ideal, I know. But this project determines whether my startup gets Series B funding or dies. Melissa knew this going in. I was transparent about the next few months being brutal. At first, she was supportive. "Do what you need to do, babe. I understand." That lasted about 2 weeks. Then came the passive-aggressive comments. "Must be nice having a computer for a girlfriend." The dramatic sighs when I worked late. The accidental unplugging of my laptop charger. I tried to make it up to her, ordered her favorite takeout, planned date nights for after the launch, even bought her that designer purse she'd been eyeing as an early birthday gift. Nothing worked. The neediness just escalated. Yesterday was the breaking point. I was on a critical video call with investors, camera on, presenting our demo. Melissa knew this. I'd told her 3 times that morning. "Babe, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. super important investor call. Cannot be interrupted." At 2:30, she walked into my home office wearing lingerie. Just walked right into frame. I muted quickly and minimized my camera, but the damage was done. Could hear snickering from the investors. Managed to play it off, but inside I was mortified. After the call, we had a huge fight. I told her that was completely inappropriate and could have tanked our funding. She screamed that I cared more about stupid code than her, that I was emotionally unavailable, that she was dying inside from neglect. Then she said, "You know what? Fine, choose, right now, that laptop or me." I thought she was being dramatic. "Melissa, that's ridiculous. It's not about choosing. This is my livelihood." That's when she grabbed my MacBook Pro, my $3,200 work laptop with everything on it, held it above her head, and before I could even move, smashed it down on the tile floor. Hard. Then again, and again. "Now you have to pay attention to me," she screamed, standing over the destroyed laptop, breathing hard. The screen was shattered. Keys scattered everywhere. The frame bent. It was completely destroyed. 3 years of work, projects, client data, everything. Yes, I have backups, but that's not the point. I didn't yell, didn't scream, just got down on my knees and started picking up the pieces. She stood there waiting for me to, I don't know, comfort her, apologize, choose her. Instead, I carefully collected every piece, put them in a box, took photos of everything. Then I grabbed my phone, wallet, and car keys. "Where are you going?" she asked, suddenly looking worried. "Hotel. Don't contact me." That was last night. This morning I did 2 things. 1. Called my lawyer friend for advice. 2. Went to the police station and filed a report for destruction of property. The officer taking the report seemed shocked when I showed him the photos and told him the replacement value. Turns out destroying property worth over $1,000 is a felony in my state. Not a misdemeanor, a felony. Melissa's been blowing up my phone all day. 73 calls, 200 plus texts, everything from "I'm sorry" to "you're overreacting" to "please don't do this" to "if you loved me, you'd understand why I did it." Her best friend Jade called me. "You seriously went to the cops? Over a laptop?" She was just emotional. My response? She committed a felony. Actions have consequences. "You're going to ruin her life over a tantrum?" She ruined my laptop over attention. See how that works? I'm done. Moving out this weekend while she's at work. Already got a storage unit for my stuff. The entitlement to think she could destroy thousands of dollars of my property and face 0 consequences? Nah, the detective assigned to the case is coming by tomorrow to get my full statement and the evidence. They said with the photos and value, it's a pretty straightforward case if I want to press charges. I do. Update 1. 2 days later. Holy hell, the entitlement escalation has been insane. So the detective came by yesterday morning, super professional, took all my evidence, got my statement. He mentioned that with the value and the intentional nature of the destruction, the prosecutor will likely take this seriously. He also said Melissa would probably be contacted within 48 hours. Well, she was contacted this morning, and that's when everything went nuclear. First, I got a call from her mom, Diane. This woman has always been a piece of work, but today was next level. How dare you? No hello, just screaming. Hello, Diane. You're having my baby arrested over some replaceable electronics? Your baby is 27 and destroyed $3,000 of my property. She was hurting. You've been neglecting her for months. She reached a breaking point. Any reasonable man would understand that. Any reasonable person wouldn't destroy someone else's property. Oh, please, you men and your toys. Buy another one and stop being dramatic. I'm sure your little computer job pays enough. That toy contained client work worth about $50 in contracts. But sure, no big deal. Well, maybe if you'd been a better boyfriend. I hung up, blocked her number. Then came Melissa's attempt at damage control. She showed up at my hotel. No idea how she found me. Probably Jade, who works at the front desk of another hotel and has connections. Security footage would later show her in the lobby for over an hour, but I only found out when she somehow convinced a housekeeper to let her onto my floor. Knock, knock, knock. Tom, please, I know you're in there. We need to talk. I called down to the front desk. There's someone harassing me outside my room. Security removed her, but not before she made a scene. According to the security guard who came to apologize, she told everyone in the lobby I was an abusive psychopath trying to destroy her life. But here's where it gets really good. I get a text from an unknown number. It's Melissa's dad, Richard. Richard's always been the quiet type. Lets Diane run the show. But this text. Tom, this is Richard. I heard what happened. I'm sorry about what Melissa did. That wasn't okay. But please, reconsider the charges. This could affect her nursing license application. She's worked so hard. There must be another way. At least he was polite. I responded. Richard, I understand your concern, but Melissa made a choice to destroy my property. If that affects her career prospects, that's a consequence of her actions, not mine. His response? I'll pay for the laptop, full replacement cost, plus damages, please. Now I'm thinking, wait. Melissa told me her parents were struggling financially. That's why she couldn't help more with rent despite working full-time. Interesting. I appreciate the offer, Richard, but this isn't about money. It's about Melissa believing she can do whatever she wants without consequences. That's when Diane took his phone. Listen here, you little I know people. I will make your life hell if you don't drop these charges. You think you're hot stuff with your computer job? I'll have you blacklisted from every tech company in the state. Screenshot, save, forward to my lawyer friend. His response, lol, that's witness intimidation? Want me to add it to the file? Absolutely. Meanwhile, Melissa started a social media campaign. Posted a crying selfie with a long caption about how her narcissistic ex is trying to destroy her future over an accident. Accident. She called it an accident. The comments were mixed. Some of her friends buying it, but others asking questions. Wait, how do you accidentally smash a laptop multiple times? Girl, didn't you tell me last week you were planning to break his stuff to get his attention? That second comment? Screenshot immediately. Thank you, random friend with a conscience. Update 2. 1 week later. The last few days have been a masterclass in digging your own grave. So remember how Richard offered to pay for the laptop? Well, Melissa lost her mind when she found out. Apparently, Daddy wasn't supposed to tell her that he has money saved. She called me, screaming, "You turned my dad against me. He just told me I need to use my savings to pay him back if he covers your stupid laptop." Your savings? I thought you didn't have any savings. You said you couldn't afford to pay more rent because you were broke. Silence. Melissa? That's different money. Different money. How much different money are we talking about? Click. She hung up. So she had savings this whole time while I was covering 70% of our rent because she was struggling. Cool. But the real entertainment came yesterday. I got served with papers. She's suing me for emotional distress and financial abuse. Her claim states that I controlled her through financial manipulation and caused severe psychological trauma through vindictive prosecution. My lawyer friend Marcus, not his real name, actually laughed out loud when he read it. She's representing herself, isn't she? How'd you know? No actual lawyer would file this garbage. This is going to be hilarious. But wait, there's more. Melissa also included a demand letter. She wants $10,000 for emotional damages, $5,000 for lost wages due to stress, me to pay her moving expenses, a written apology to post on my social media. Oh, and dropping the criminal charges. Obviously, I showed this to the detective handling my case. He just shook his head. She does realize this looks like extortion, right? She's basically saying drop the charges or I'll sue you. She's not the brightest. I'm starting to see that. Then came the escalation from Diane. She started calling my workplace. Yeah, this lunatic looked up my company, found our main number, and started calling, demanding to speak to my CEO about my abuse of a vulnerable young woman. Our receptionist, bless her, put her through to HR instead. HR called me. Hey Tom, we have a situation. A woman claiming to be your ex-girlfriend's mother is calling repeatedly, making accusations. What's going on? I explained everything, sent them the police report number, the screenshots of her threats. HR's response was basically, yikes, okay, we're blocking her number and documenting everything. Let us know if you need anything. My CEO actually pulled me aside later. Is this the same girlfriend who showed up in lingerie during the investor call? Yeah. And now her mom is harassing the company? Yeah. You need better taste in women, Tom. Working on it. But here's the kicker. Remember that friend who commented about Melissa planning to break my stuff? She DM'd me. Hey Tom, I know we're not close, but I thought you should know. Melissa's been bragging in our group chat about how she put you in your place and that you'd come crawling back. She also said, and I quote, he thinks he's so smart, but I know how to make him pay attention. Breaking his little toy was just the start. I have screenshots if you need them for court. Yes, I need them. Update 3. 2 weeks later, court day arrived. Melissa showed up in what I can only describe as her innocent victim costume. Pastel pink dress, minimal makeup, hair in a demure bun. Almost didn't recognize her without her usual Instagram baddie aesthetic. Her parents were there too. Diane shooting daggers at me, Richard looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. The prosecutor had reviewed everything. The destruction, the threats from Diane, Melissa's own admissions via her friend's screenshots. He offered her a plea deal, plead guilty to misdemeanor criminal mischief, reduced from felony destruction of property, pay restitution, 100 hours community service, and 1 year probation. No jail time, wouldn't affect her nursing license as severely. Pretty generous, considering. Melissa rejected it. I'm not pleading guilty to anything. He's the real criminal here. He emotionally abused me for months. The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, raised an eyebrow. Ms. Morrison, do you have evidence of this alleged abuse? He worked all the time. He ignored me. Working is not abuse, Miss Morrison. Did he physically harm you? No, but... Did he threaten you? No, but emotionally. Did he prevent you from leaving the relationship? No. But you did destroy his property worth $3,200? It was a cry for help. The judge looked at the prosecutor, then at me, then back at Melissa. Miss Morrison, you're being offered an extremely generous plea deal. I suggest you take it. No. I won't let him win. The judge sighed. Very well, we'll proceed to trial. Given the evidence, including your own social media posts calling the destruction an accident when you clearly did it intentionally, and these text messages where you admit to planning property destruction, I hope you understand what you're risking. Melissa's face went white. She turned to whisper frantically with her parents. Diane stood up. Your Honor, may I address the court? Are you her attorney? No, but I'm her mother. Then no, you may not. Ms. Morrison, do you have legal representation? I'm representing myself. I strongly advise you to get an attorney, Ms. Morrison. Trial is set for next month. As we left the courthouse, Richard approached me. Tom, please, just take the money. I'll give you $10,000. Just drop this. Richard, she needs to face consequences. You bailing her out is probably why she thinks she can act like this. He looked defeated. Diane won't forgive me if Melissa gets a record. That sounds like a you problem. But Melissa wasn't done. That evening, she went on Instagram Live. Oh yes, live. Crying, wailing about the injustice, how the system protects abusive men, how I'm ruining her life over nothing. Someone in the comments asked, didn't you break his computer on purpose though? Melissa, it wasn't on purpose. I was having a mental health episode. Another comment. Girl, you told me last month you were gonna smash his stuff if he didn't pay attention to you. Melissa immediately ended the live stream, but not before several people screen recorded it, including me. Sent it straight to the prosecutor with a note. She's now claiming mental health issues. Might want to request a psychological evaluation. The prosecutor replied, already on it. This is the most self-destructive defendant I've seen in a while. Update 4, trial day. The trial was something else. Melissa actually got a lawyer. Some ambulance chaser who probably took her case for the publicity. He tried to paint me as a neglectful partner who drove her to a breaking point. The prosecutor's response was brutal. Evidence presented. 1. The destroyed laptop in a clear evidence bag, looking like technological roadkill. 2. Photos I took immediately after Vriegny. 3. Her social media posts calling it an accident, then admitting it was intentional. 4. Screenshots from her friend showing premeditation. 5. Her Instagram live meltdown. 6. The threatening texts from Diane. Bonus, witness intimidation charge being considered separately. But the star witness was Melissa's former friend Amanda, who came forward with the group chat receipts. Amanda testified, she said, and I quote, "I'm going to break something he loves so he knows how I feel. Maybe his precious laptop." This was 3 days before she actually did it. Melissa's lawyer tried to object, but the messages were already admitted as evidence. Then came Melissa's testimony. Against her lawyer's advice, you could see him dying inside. She insisted on taking the stand. It was a disaster. Pros Morrison, did you destroy the defendant's laptop? He made me do it. He physically forced you to break his laptop? No, but emotionally. Did he ask you to break his laptop? No. Did you plan to break his belongings to get his attention? That's taken out of context. It's your own words in the group chat. What context are we missing? I wasn't serious. But you did break his laptop? Yes, okay. I broke it, but he deserved it for ignoring me. The entire courtroom went quiet. Even her own lawyer facepalmed. The judge didn't even need long to deliberate. Guilty of criminal mischief in the second degree. Sentence: $3,200 restitution for the laptop, $1,500 in additional damages for lost work, 200 hours community service, 18 months probation, anger management classes. And because of her lack of remorse and admission that he deserved it, the judge made sure it would remain on her record as a crime involving moral turpitude, which means her nursing license application is basically dead. Melissa started sobbing. "You've ruined my life. I'll never be a nurse now." The judge's response: "Miss Morrison, you ruined your life when you chose to destroy someone else's property in a fit of rage. Actions have consequences." Diane started screaming in the courtroom about corruption and sexism, and had to be escorted out by security. Richard just sat there, head in his hands. As I was leaving, Melissa's lawyer pulled me aside. For what it's worth, I tried to get her to take the plea deal. She insisted you'd cave because you loved her too much to let her suffer. She genuinely believed you'd drop the charges at the last minute. Why would she think that? Because apparently that's what happened with her ex before you. She keyed his car, he threatened to press charges, she cried, he dropped them. Wow. Yeah, good luck, man. Final update. 1 month later. It's been a month since the trial. Thought I'd give one last update before I put this whole chapter behind me. Melissa has paid $1,000 of the restitution so far. Turns out that savings she had? About $2,500. Not exactly the fortune she made it seem like. Richard is covering the rest in installments, despite Diane's protests. He actually sent me an apology letter, saying he realizes now that always bailing Melissa out created this monster. Too little too late, but at least he gets it. Diane, on the other hand, is now facing her own charges for witness intimidation. Turns out threatening to ruin someone's career if they don't drop charges is shockingly illegal. She's looking at possible jail time. The karma is delicious. Melissa tried to start a GoFundMe titled "Help Me Rebuild After Domestic Abuse," but it got taken down after multiple people reported it with links to the court records showing she was the one convicted of a crime. She managed to raise $73 before it was removed. Her nursing school dreams are officially dead. The conviction showed up in her background check. She's now working retail and living with her parents. According to Amanda, who still occasionally updates me, Melissa blames everyone but herself. Me for overreacting, the judge for being sexist, her lawyer for not fighting hard enough, and even Amanda for betraying her. The entitlement never stopped, it seems. As for me, I got a new laptop. Better model, thanks insurance. Our startup got funded. The investors actually joked that the lingerie incident showed we were a real startup facing real challenges. And I'm in therapy to deal with some of the relationship trauma. Turns out dating someone who thinks destroying your property is a valid form of communication leaves some scars. Who knew? I'm not dating right now. Just focusing on work, hanging with friends, and enjoying the peace of not having someone demand my constant attention. My apartment is quiet. My belongings are intact. Life is good. Oh, and remember Jade, the friend who helped Melissa find my hotel? She reached out last week to ask if I wanted to grab coffee and talk about everything that happened. Yeah, no, blocked. Some people asked if I regret pressing charges, if maybe I should have just taken the money and moved on. Here's the thing, it was never about the money. It was about someone thinking they could destroy my property because they weren't getting enough attention. About someone who'd rather break something than respect that I had responsibilities. About the entitlement to think tantrums should be consequence-free. She wanted my attention? Well, she got it. A whole court's worth of attention. Hope it was worth it. Thanks for following this wild ride. I'm out. Time to live my boring, drama-free life.